Hey there, Nikki here. I recently got a request for exercises that you can do after a tailbone injury. So, of course, depending on the nature of your tailbone injury or the cause of the trauma, these exercises may or may not be appropriate for you. Please use your best sense. If you ever suspect a underlying injury that's nagging, don't follow a video on the internet. Go to your doctor and get assessed and treated by a medical provider, please. But these are just a few little techniques sometimes that can just make everything feel a little bit just easier because it downregulates the nervous system or just decreases stress, and it kind of increases body awareness, which for a lot of us, those two things can sort of decrease sensations of discomfort pretty quickly. So for this video, you don't have to use an inflatable ball for these things. I like the ball because it's squishy. It's about 8 to 10 inches. If I deflate it more, it's going to be basically feel softer. And if I inflate it more, it'll feel a little bit more firm. So just depending on what feels good to you, you can adjust the amount of sort of feedback you give your body. A quick note on that though is I would not use a firm ball for this. I would use a squishy inflatable one for sure. So the first thing that you can try here is actually coming onto your stomach. You could deflate the ball more if you like. I'm just going to keep it about the same for the entire video, mostly just for brevity. So you can rest your head down on your hands, and you can just let your legs relax. The ball is somewhere underneath your abdomen, and you're just going to start by breathing in and out. And as you do this, and I'm going to go pretty quick, but in real time you could hang out here for like a minute or so, what you're going to start to feel is an opening in the back line of your body across your lower back and your sacrum, which if that area is kind of feeling a little bit restricted because it had a little bit of trauma, say you bonked it, this can just be a really nice way to open up that area. So again, you could hang out there for, a few focus breaths, 30 seconds to tolerance, just starting to open that up. It can also be a nice one for low back pain. So once you've kind of opened up that area, you can transition onto your back. And again, if you're not on a mat, you can, and you've got a slidey surface, you could also just do this without a ball. But just because I have a mat, I'm going to use the ball underneath my foot. So you're going to think about keeping your hips fairly still, your ribs nice and heavy. Your toes can be on the ball, or again, your heel can just be on the ground, and you could just start with an easy heel slide here going out and bringing it in. And all that you're doing now is just starting to teach your body or remind your body that you have a leg bone that can move separately of your pelvic bone. So this won't feel like much work. It's just a really, really gentle hip release, which can indirectly kind of create a little bit of release or relief around the tissues. And if that all feels good, you can start to open the leg out, slide the leg out straight, roll center, and then pull it in. Now, again, you don't need the ball to do this. You also don't need to have your hands on your hips. It's just sometimes nice feedback. And then once you've done, like, let's say 4 or 5 circles, you could then go turning the leg in, rolling it out, and pulling it in the other way. And of course, you don't need to use the ball. If you've got a slidey surface, like if I didn't have the mat here, I could just do all of this with no ball underneath my foot. No problem. And then of course you would do the other side to tolerance. Also, one more note, I have a lot of range of motion in my hips. You may not. Your circle might look a lot smaller. That is a-okay. So then from there, you can grab the ball. Again, you can do this without a ball, but the ball is sort of a nice way to sort of ease off pressure on, say, the tailbone because it's squishy and forgiving. You could also do this on your bed if the floor is too hard. You can put your hands on your hips for a little bit of extra feedback, and then you can actually start to play with just gently rocking your pelvis under and then going the other way. Again, I would do 6 or 8 of these. The trick to this is just, I'm trying to actually keep it really relaxed. So I'm not efforting it. I'm just sort of feeling how can my pelvis now move relative to my leg bones. So before I was moving my legs and holding my pelvis still. Now I'm holding my legs still and moving my pelvis. And then if that feels good, you could do like a pelvic clock. So you could kind of, let's say, go left hip bone to left rib cage, roll to the middle, right hip bone to right rib cage, and then you can sort of reach your right tailbone out and then go back to the middle. So I'm kind of making a circle with my pelvis. I could do 4 to 8 of those one way and then the other way. So again, all just gentle mobilization exercises that might feel kind of nice. And then the last thing you can do is just hang here with this slightly inverted position, which will help you get into your diaphragm, and you can just breathe. So for arm positions, you could do arms by your sides. Some people will actually find goalpost arms will feel kind of nice as they hang out here. And some people will actually feel pretty good with their arms over their heads and just kind of taking nice, full, easy breaths. So inhaling, feeling the front of your body expand and open, and then just exhale, letting it go with any arm position that feels good. So again, arms by your sides, A-okay. And again, you could hang out here for 3 to 5 focused breaths or up to a minute or 90 seconds. Just kind of let everything relax and kind of melt into the ground. So I hope you found that helpful. Just a few different exercises you can do. Again, I was thinking about a tailbone injury when I created this video, but honestly, these are also really great if you've got a little bit of low back discomfort or stiffness as well.